All right. So, this is my Titan Season 4, Episode 11 review. And so it starts with what was at least obvious to me a dream sequence because it was just rather bizarre. It seemed surreal, very much like an out of body experience or something. And it turns out I was right. It was Corey's dream of her going towards some blue blob of light similar to her own. And she activates her powers, and then she wakes up, and she's in Star Labs. And then she goes to see Dick to see how he's doing. I don't know what's up with this sexual tension thing that they have going on. I mean, they've slept together. What's going on? I mean, I realize that Barbara happened, but still, it's just weird. So, Saved by the Bell, they get called away. And Corey goes back to Star Labs. Dick goes somewhere, which he doesn't bother to say because, why should he? So, Tim goes to see how Bernard's doing. No change. And while Tim is, asking that they keep him informed, and they actually offered that, we'll let you know if something changes, Dick comes out with a suitcase. And he tells Tim that he made a contact with a friend in Gotham, and he needs some info from this guy, and he needs you to go and, oh, by the way, here's the suitcase. Which Dick, again, doesn't bother to tell him what's in the suitcase. He goes, I don't know. Why don't you look in? What the hell is up with that? I mean, okay, you don't want to tell him that he's actually going to make contact with Jason because of the whole Red Hood thing and him terrorizing Gotham. Okay, I get that. But really? Can't even tell him that, oh yeah, that's your new Robin suit. But I guess he didn't want him to get overly excited, maybe, since that's Tim's dream is to become Robin. So you can see he's about to jump out of his skin with excitement. He's thrilled. And so he goes off to Gotham. And in the meantime, Corey gets a hit. So she takes off because, we can't just tell people anything anymore. We just have to run off. And Dick goes to Gar and Rachel and, where's Corey? And they're like, haven't seen her? And this was after Gar was talking about how the more he spends time in the red, the more he feels like that's where he belongs. And Rachel's like, yeah, you should go there. It's like, okay, way to try to get rid of me. But, considering Rachel's power, she could probably join him in the red. And, so they're looking for Corey, and there's this one tech who, if she wore a neon sign saying I know where Corey is, wouldn't have been as obvious as the way she was acting. Like Rachel said, I'm not using my power. She's a bad liar. So she finally tells them what they want to know. In the meantime, Corey goes down this hallway, which, oh, by the way, greatly resembles her dream. And she and Mercy is right there. And she is about to put a gun to Corey's head, but Corey's faster because it's Corey. And Corey's trying to find out information from Mercy. And then in come Dick, Rachel, and Gar. That, Connor's gone rogue, and because he's no longer answering Mercy's texts. And so Connor's gone rogue, and so you might end up having to kill Connor. And they're like, no. No one's killing Connor. And, so they set off to find Connor. And before they do that, they're looking at her files and find out that Lex was working on Project Starfire because he knew her powers could stop Brother Blood. So he wanted to get a sample of her power, which, instead of saying, oh, by the way, there's this thing happening and I need your power, he tries to be sneaky about it because that always ends well. So they go off in search of this power. Now, back up to Connor and Sebastian. So Sebastian meets up with his mother. Well, actually, first off, Connor mentions that, Sebastian's upset that the Titans took his power. Not only ruined his video game, but took his power. And Connor's like, they didn't take your power. Your mother did. Now, at no point did Sebastian say, wait, I killed her. It seemed like the completely most normal thing for Connor to say. It's like, you killed her. How are you so calm about this? Especially since he still can be saved. Not after what Connor ended up doing, but so Connor even grabs this henchman who we saw earlier in the temple, where Mother Mayhem is saying that, there's still time for Sebastian to come with the horn and call Trigon, and the henchman is less than convinced. And so Sebastian's ex-girlfriend comes in, and the implication in what Mother Mayhem was saying, and this is how she took her message, was that in order to bring Sebastian back into the fold, that they would have to sleep together or something. Which wasn't actually what she wanted, because she even said that it's a little pushing it because she's a mother. So she's totally implying something, and when she totally means something else. And after the girl agrees, she pulls her heart out and uses it to make a gem. Now, she goes to Sebastian and tries to convince him that it's actually the Titans that are lying to him, and that, once they bring Trigon back, everything will be great. You'll have everything you've ever wanted, blah, 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 blah. And she puts that gem in his hand, and it's like it's cutting into him or burning him or something. and she takes it and puts it in his forehead. So I thought he was going to end up with a little gem in his forehead like Rachel does. But no. No, it just completely absorbed. And he immediately starts acting different around Connor. And Connor's like, oh shit. And so at this point, Sebastian is like a yo-yo. He believes whatever the last person told him, which is, in this case, Mother Mayhem. So that's when he grabs the henchman and forces him to tell him that you're nothing and that Trigon will destroy you as he'll destroy everybody else who isn't worthy, which we all know that that's not true. He's going to destroy everybody. I don't think anybody's worthy according to Trigon. So Sebastian attacks him and says that he isn't nothing. So Connor has him drink the henchman's blood because it's mixed with his mother's power, and so that he would get his power back. It's never actually explained how he lost his power, because even Mother Mayhem's like, well, if you don't use it, you're gonna lose it type thing. It's just so he gets his power back, and now this is where I wouldn't say Connor turned, because he was always helping the Titans, but this is where I think he was lying by omission to the Titans, because it seemed like even after he drank the blood, unless again they edited out something, something that was relevant, just because he had power doesn't mean he's going to bring back Trigon, because he heard what the henchman said. So Connor decides to, I guess he was going to go to get this orb just as much as the Titans did, because Mercy did say that she gave those files to Connor. So I don't know if he had any intention of helping the Titans at this point. This, I thought I could do it on my own and blah, 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 blah. I don't know if he intended to do that, if he knew that they would be there, or if he just improvised after he found them there. My understanding is it is LexCorp's facility, so it's entirely possible he knew that they were there. And yes, I'm leaving the Tim stuff for last. So they decide that they're going to try to charge this orb, even though it's never been charged before. It's a prototype. Nobody knows what's going to happen. So Dick is freaking out that there's an alarm going off. So he stops them from just short of fully charging this orb. And I assume that the reason Connor was helping Corey charge the orb was not that he was doing anything, but he was just making sure it remained contained. That if anything were to happen, he would be able to absorb the blast. And so they hope that it's charged enough to defeat Brother Blood. So they go outside. Connor is the one who's going to be there to throw the orb because, well, he already has an established relationship with Sebastian. And at this point, I considered it a bit of a betrayal by Connor because, again, I'm not seeing Sebastian as the bad guy yet. Yes, he has his moments, and maybe Connor figured now that he has powers again, he's going to go off the deep end. But just because he has power, even when he had power before, he wasn't intending to summon Trigon because he had no interest in that. He had power. He was no longer nothing, so he was fine with that. So Connor goes with Sebastian. Now, I know Connor is short, but he's well built. How the hell did he hide behind Sebastian? How did Mother Mayhem not know that he was behind Sebastian? But so they go to the temple, and Sebastian confronts his mother. She thinks that he's here to blow the horn, which, by the way, she had taken earlier, which I realize that she's a magic user, but Connor couldn't lift the damn thing. So was there some magical protection on it that only certain people could lift it? And so Sebastian goes up, and it looks like Mother Mayhem might be getting through to him, and then he stabs her with the horn. And not only does she die this time, I mean, she's permadead now. Well, sort of, because it seems like her entire essence, her magic, everything, went into Sebastian. So maybe Connor knew, because, he does have X-ray vision. So maybe Connor knew that meant that that what Mother Mayhem wanted is now what Sebastian wants. Because up to this point, we have no reason to believe that Sebastian had any intention of blowing the horn. So he throws the orb at him. And, well, he's still Sebastian. It's not like he transformed or anything. He throws the orb. And this is a classic case of causing the problem you now have to deal with. Because we see Sebastian transform. And he kills Connor. Connor is bleeding from the mouth. His eyes are open like you would be if you were dead. Now, he is part Kryptonian, so maybe he is. This is also comic books, so, even when you think people are dead, but he certainly looked pretty dead. And so Corey, Dick, and Rachel and Gar are all seeing what's happening. They hear him blow the horn, and they're asking what about Connor. So they go into what looks like I don't know, it seemed like it was just a electrical shed, and we don't know what they're going to do. Corey just said that we're going to do things my way. So did they know beforehand that this was going to be canceled, and now they're going to summon oh, Jesus Christ, I cannot talk. Just kill everybody? Because Connor is seemingly dead. So I don't know, but that's how that ends. On a serious cliffhanger. And this is episode 11, so I don't know how many episodes they're doing this season. Usually it's 12, so it would make sense that next episode would be a season finale. So back to Tim. So he goes to Gotham, and the first time we see him after Dick tells him to go to Gotham is we see these two robbers. And I actually expected to see Jason. I expected to see Red Hood. But no, it's Tim. He decides that he's going to be Robin. And just out of the blue, he's going to fight crime. And people are like, who are you? It's like, do you not see the costume? His Robin costume isn't that much different than Dick's or Jason's was. It's not been that long since Robin existed. I realized there was a time jump, but not that much of one. So he's doing okay. And then they start shooting, and he ends up pinned. And suddenly a marksman takes out the bad guys, and it's Jason. Because of course it is. And through this entire montage with Tim and Jason, I just knew that this was what Dick wanted, that this wasn't a chance meeting between Tim and Jason. This was Dick's idea all along. Because again, we can't be truthful or anything. And based on what happened once they got to Jason's hideout, obviously Tim isn't going to be upset if he knew that he was going to train with Jason, because he's like, oh cool, I'm meeting Red Hood, and he's like, seriously, I was on your bucket list? And that shocks me too. I mean, excuse me, did you not know what was happening with Scarecrow? I mean, that was Jason. Jason was helping him create terror. Do you not know this? This is a guy who knows everything. You know, he figured out who Batman is. He figured out that Dick used to be Robin. How do you not know this? I realize it wasn't for a long time. He just came up, but you knew who he was. You figured it out. What? So they talk, and I have to admit, I just love Jason's contents of his refrigerator. Beer, cheese, and there was something else. And I'm just like, all the essential food groups right there. Okay, why not? So Tim sees the code on his wall and on his board, and he's like, yeah, your code is a bit off. So he fixes it for him. Now, looking back, I wonder if even that was a test. Because Jason, we've discovered here, is not an idiot. He's extremely smart. So he helps him with that, and he immediately calls Barbara and tells her, oh, this is what we need. And proceeds to school Tim on it, because Tim thought that, he's Robin now, he's got his bow staff, everything is hunky-dory. And Jason makes short work of him. So we have a montage of Jason training Tim. And so at some point, there was a security breach. Jason's like, you did great, meet me downstairs. And just at that moment, I don't think Jason could have timed this better if he tried. Even though he's really good at timing shit. um, some hoodlums come and start attacking Tim, and Tim takes them down. I'm just upset because in the comics he's supposed to be really good with the bow staff. He quickly abandoned his bow staff to use whatever he could get his hands on, including Jason's laptop. No, excuse me. And so Jason even said, "Yeah, you owe me a laptop." And it took these guys long enough, considering I basically gave them my location. And Tim's like, "Wait, this was a setup? What the hell?" And so they say their goodbyes, and Jason's like, "Can't you stay for a little while?" And Tim's like, "I've got to go back. My boyfriend's in a coma." And they say their goodbyes. And he said, "Enjoy your ride back to Gotham," and throws him the keys. And it's a bike. And on the bike is a note. And says, "Welcome to the team." And I think it was from Dick. I saw a D, and I thought I saw an A, but it moved really quickly. And so Tim smiles because he knows that this is what Dick wanted. It's not that this was a side quest and that he was supposed to find this other person. This is what he was supposed to be doing all along, being trained by Jason. And we hear Dick and Jason talking on the phone, saying, "Yep, everything's taken care of. I did what you asked. And oh yes, he's going to be a better Robin." And so yeah, that's pretty much it. Obviously it ended with Connor being dead. I put that in quotes because maybe he's dead. I mean, he is a Kryptonian, so I don't know how his healing works, but obviously it's not like healing factor like, say, Wolverine or something, but he does have something. So I don't know. Maybe they did kill him off. That would suck. I mean, granted, this show was canceled after this season, but at least Joshua Orpin got a chance to do something meaty as opposed to this. I wouldn't call him a goody two shoes, but he was a very naive, innocent character. So it's nice that he got to play something else before the show ended, or if it hadn't ended before he died. Let's see if I'm missing anything that I wanted to mention. They keep harping on the fact that Corey is going to take down Brother Blood. And that's fine. That's probably what's going to happen. That Corey is going to take on Brother Blood, and Rachel is going to have to deal with her father again. Or somehow they're going to work together to take them both down. Who knows? But since they made such a big deal of the Red and Gar's connection to it, there's got to be something that somehow Gar is going to be a part of defeating Brother Blood and or Trigon. Because why hype it up otherwise? And this is, of course, way above Dick's pay grade. Hell, I'm pretty sure if Connor survived, this is kind of above his pay grade. Basically, all he could do for Dick is to give him something to hide behind. Because like Dick mentioned when Connor said, "You can hit me if you want. I kind of deserved it." And Dick's like, "Nah, if for no other reason, I'd break my hand." So So yeah, this is gonna be a case of Dick is just gonna be like, doop dee doop dee doo. Okay, I don't know what to do here. I'm completely out of my element. So anyway, I believe I've covered everything I could on this episode, and I will see you guys in the next video.